Hey, Gary's Gulch, welcome back. So I had a fantastic two-event weekend. I was out in California at an event that I've attended many, many times, starting back 12 years ago. It used to be called Creating Wealth with Jason Hartman, or Meet the Masters. They also had an event. He used to do a bunch more like in-person training than now. Running the podcast back then, though, he was the guy that I credit with helping me understand how to invest around the country in markets that make sense. So I would credit him and the Real Estate Guys radio show from back in 2011 and 12 from really getting me on this path. So it's those two, and then Patrick Donahoe with Paradigm Life helping me understand the whole foundational piece of growing wealth, maintaining control. But you can hear in this podcast that it is very, very consistent with what we talk about at Paradigm Life. So a lot of the stuff you hear me talk about, you hear Jason talk about here, and this is a recording from 2012, the first Meet the Masters event that I went to that he hosted. And I ran a podcast with him for several years called the Heroic Investing Show. He's done the Creating Wealth podcast. He's got 3,000 episodes. And linked in the show notes here, there is a kind of getting started best of the best topics, and this is one of those, and I think there's 13 or 14 episodes there that will really distill down for you things that have enduring value that, again, make as much sense today as they did back then. So you'll hear him talk about the recent Great Recession because it was only 2 or 3 years in the past. But again, everything that I listened to in this replay, totally relevant today. And it's what people are thinking again as we're nearing or already in the middle of the next big market correction. So things change, but history does rhyme in a big way. What he talks about on this one are the 10 commandments of real estate investing. But before we get there, I just want to give a big shout out to my clients who came and were able to spend some time connected together. I mean, we just had a great time. Shout out to Andrew Stanton, who lives locally there with his family. He runs his own podcast called the Whole Steward Podcast. He's a very religious Christian man. They just have an incredible family. Got to see their recent home purchase. They have their own kind of compound there. I mean, it's a couple acres, but that's massive in the Southern California area. So proud of them and what they're doing with their family. And it was just really fun seeing him. And he pointed out, this is the first time we've seen each other in person in the several years that we've been working together. I was blown away. I felt like I've been around him and in the same room with him numerous times. I mean, that's really just the power of the kind of relationships I try to build with my clients. And certainly those that are ideal clients, we have built that kind of relationship. And I didn't even know, the love of having Zoom around and being able to connect in that way. It hadn't occurred to me that we had not actually gotten together in person before. So, Andrew, a great event. I really appreciate you being there. My client Brian from Southern California was there as well, old Army veteran and good buddy of mine. Shout out to Jerry and Amin and your amazing young son. I've seen him grow up over the years. You all are self-managing everything today using, kind of figuring it out on your own. But I also connected again with an awesome lady named Dana, who's CEO of a company called Hemlane, Hemlane. They help people with amazing technology self-manage your own properties across the country. They automate everything. They do. They allow the individuals to go in and do their own tour when you're showing the property for lease. I mean, it's quite incredible. I think you'll really enjoy that interview when I get that one up and running. Several other customers and clients and friends there. Brandon, shout out to young Brandon, man. You're doing awesome with the hero's journey that you're doing with, I think I just said that wrong, but basically teaching Christian fathers how to be really, really good leaders of their family. It's Heroes something, but it's an awesome group, and I've met with them once, and we're hoping to reconnect and help them along their journey. Many other great clients. I'm sure I missed a couple, but we had a great time. And so back to this episode that I'm going to play today. So Jason talks again. This is dated, but it is amazing, and I will continue to bring snippets of things that have been enduring. The entire weekend was really just an amazing conversation or amazing reflection on all the stuff that his guidance has done for me, how much I've incorporated it into my message to my clients here on Gary's Gulch, and how enduring the lessons and value is of all of this. So he says, hey, become educated. seek guidance, get a professional team in place. And of course, I want to be that as your guide along this financial journey. Stay in control, maintain control. I told you this stuff is certainly in alignment with what I do and how I help clients. Remain prudent or remain cognizant of your long-term goals. Make sure that you keep the focus in place. And of course, as your guide, that's one of my intentions, to be able to meet with you frequently throughout the year. Currents helps a ton with me being able to pull that off nowadays. Do not gamble. Thou shalt not gamble. So he's trying to ensure that you're not out there speculating or operating up in tiers 3 and 4 of the hierarchy of wealth to the point where you don't have enough control to prevent that from happening. Diversify across different markets, not necessarily different asset classes, but you can do that too if it works. Remain agnostic to the location where you have your properties. I mean, put the properties, as Robert Helms, who was also in attendance, says, live where you want to live, but own your properties where it makes sense from a cash flow and rental perspective, where the jobs are, etc. Right? Keep universal, remember that where you're putting your money is in a place that has universal needs. So commodities, real estate, there's always going to be that need for shelter. And then continue to operate in a tax-favored manner. And of course, real estate, prudently leveraged real estate will do that for you. Some of the best tax advantages that you'll ever find on directly owned residential real estate. So without further ado, here's a flashback to the past, and I think you will find that every one of these lessons continues to resonate for you. Enjoy this episode with the amazing Jason Hartman and his enduring message about the 10 most important lessons to keep in mind when you're doing directly owned single-family residential real estate. Until next time, go make something amazing happen in Gary's Gulch.